by B4MX.com, the classified ads website for everything off-road. With the Motocross Nations just finishing up last weekend, we decided to come down here to CCM Racing and catch up with the Team Ireland Open MX class racer of Stuart Edmonds to see how was his weekend. Alright Stuart, thanks for talking to me here today. It's been a tough, hard weekend on you, but you've made the time to come and speak with us, so thanks very much for that.
No problem.
The first thing I wanted to ask you about was the preparation you did up above in McGilligan and how that compared to the actual race scenario then. So how did the two compare, and was it bringing that to the team to be able to be right together those few days up in McGilligan?
Yeah, well, obviously with the British and the MX Nationals kind of being their first two races before the Nations, it kind of held back a little bit extra preparation that I could have done, but any chance I got, I was up and in McGilligan with the lads, and that weekend that we done together it was amazing. It was nice to kind of get a team bond going.
Yeah.
And it's important because if anyone was to ask, the closest track that you could probably get to that Aston would be only McGilligan.
Wow, yeah,
here.
So.
In all fairness, so it's just it was a no-brainer for us to go up there and do our preparation.
Brilliant, yeah. So you had a few days together then. So what was the mood like in the camp heading over to Aston then? Were you confident about getting straight into the A final, or was everybody clicking well and gelling well with their bikes and all that kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, every year I go over, I'm confident that we should be going in straight into the A final. I definitely was confident. And the other lads I'm pretty sure was confident as well. And with Jason being his first rodeo in the MX Nationals, he may have been a little bit nervous, but he didn't show any nerves. He said to me himself like he wasn't nervous at all, and he rode done his part. We all done our part, but I think it was a little bit unfortunate. He had some small issues in his race. I had crashes of mine that kind of put us back as well. So that was the main reason I say we didn't get in straight in, but we turned it around the next day.
So just a couple of small issues on the Saturday kind of held you back, and then you were back in the B final thing. But I suppose Team Ireland, fortunately or unfortunately, is king of the B final at this event, which is maybe something not to be very proud of, but at least we get into the main event all the time. But something that really struck me was Philip McCullough, the team manager for Team Ireland. He wrote up on Facebook there off the page, Stuart woke up on Sunday morning totally focused on the job that lay ahead of him. He certainly redeemed himself with an amazing gutsy performance in the B final. So what was that day like for you then, getting up Sunday morning and you knew you had to get it done that day?
Yeah, well, to put it this way, put it frankly, we had to get up at 6 o'clock, and the most important thing for me was getting some food into my body before going away, and breakfast wasn't open till 7, so I went straight down. Asked the guy at reception, could I get something at all just to get into my body, and he was nice enough to bring me in, got myself sorted, so I filled up as much as I could, and I went to bed. I had the worst night's sleep probably in a long time. I don't know why. Maybe it was tossing and turning. I was too hot. I was thinking stuff in my head, and there was lots of stuff going on, and my sleep was absolutely terrible. But when I woke up at 6 o'clock, I said, right, we're doing it. Jason had spoke to me the night before at dinner, and he said, "Oh, what do you think was going to happen?" I said to him, "I said, we're getting in." I was completely and utterly focused, and I knew we were getting in. And yeah, we had a bit of a mare with Jason having a crash, Martin having a crash, and I had some bobbles, but we just kept going, and that was the most important thing, getting this far up to the top.
That just kept going. I didn't get to watch it live on television, but what I did do was I watched it live on the mobile phone with the live timing coming through from MXGP, and I could see Martin, Stuart, Jason kind of at the back of the pack at the start of the race, and I thought, oh god, the lads have a job on here now. But as I stayed watching it travelling along, I could see the names riding up all the time, and I must say that I was shouting out, "Go on, Stuart," a number of times, and you managed to make your way up into second position from a really poor start. So how tough was that through the B final to get up there?
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. I actually went out with 2 sets of goggles on, so I had a roll-off set on, and then on top of that I had another tear-off set on top of that. Within the first lap, all the tear-offs on the tear-off set had gone, so I had to chuck that goggle off. And then I think a lap or two later I was passing another rider, and he aquaplaned a load of water into my goggles, got destroyed them basically, and I tried keeping them on as long as I could, but I was losing places because I couldn't see, so I had to chuck them off. So I probably spent 3/4 of the race with no goggles on. And I remember speaking to Philip and to Alistair, my mechanic at the time, and they were basically saying to me, he says, look, he says, you don't have time to pull over, and I'm a big believer of, if you pull over, get your goggles done, save your eyes, you'll end up going quicker. But just something clicked with me. I was just like, I seen Martin go down, and I was like, I have to just keep going. And as long as I kept going forward, that was all that really mattered. If I got to a point where I couldn't pass and there was more people passing me, well, then I'd have to pull in. But I made it work. I was saying to the lads earlier on, there was one corner I came to, there was 3 riders, and usually you'd kind of do the opposite to what the rider was doing, but everyone had to use the middle of the centre, and there was nowhere to go, so I just closed my eyes and I just literally held it wide open and just followed wherever they were going, or when I couldn't see, and I opened my eyes quickly, closed them back again, and I managed passing two riders. So it was definitely a tough race to do. That was the main thing, was just never to give up. And I know that from years, my dad taught me years ago, was just never ever give up. Don't stop until the bike stops.
At the end of the race then, it wasn't without a bit of controversy. So the MXGP put up on the Facebook page, well done Team Poland, you've got through. However, it came to light then that something happened in between that allowed Ireland to qualify for the A final. So what was that like?
Well, I'd actually congratulated the Poland in getting in, and I know I was a bit gutted, like everyone was gutted, but we then realised, there's a couple of people had realised that one of the riders, that was just the one of the Russian riders I think it was, had cut the track, and he put like a minute faster lap time than anyone else. So it was a little bit obvious. So I think that kind of came into play, and then with Jason kind of coming up through the pack, his result then came into play also, and that bumped us up an extra point, and that got us in.
So it came down to maybe that conversation you had the evening before with Jason, just don't give up,
never
keep
stop.
it going, never stop. And that's what brought us through then.
That's the one thing I've learned over the years, especially being in the B final, is just never give up, because you don't know what can happen with so many changes in riders and people crashing or bikes going, or like if you give up and at the end of the race you say, I could have got that rider, but you didn't, you missed out by 1 point. I'd kick myself more for that than not keep pushing till the complete end.
It worked out in the end anyway, and Team Ireland were into the A final. Alright, we'll take a little break there then and tell you a little bit what's going on here at CCM Racing, and when we come back we'll talk about the A final with Stuart and how his weekend was overall. CCM Racing, located in South Dublin, are one of Ireland's best motocross shops. Not only are they the main dealer for Husqvarna motorcycles, but they can also source your Japanese machinery too from Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, as well as TM. They also boast an in-shop workshop where the boys are sure to look after you and make sure that your bike is kept right, as well as upstairs having a full stock of parts for many makes and models right across the board, so be sure and give the guys a call if you're looking for anything. They also carry new gear from the likes of Fox, Alpine Stars, Thor, as well as boots from Guerin, and a wide selection of helmets as well from Just One and Fox also. They've also catered recently for the mountain bike market, so be sure to call by CCM Racing for anything you need. Alright, welcome back. So we've gotten into the A final then. So what was the mode like then, Stuart? Was it just a matter of survival, get through the day, or what were your expectations for the team?
Well, the way I see it, when the job's not over there. The hard work then begins. The 2 A finals are for each rider are really important. The 3 A finals, but each rider rides 2 a piece. And just going out my first, I just make sure I had everything prepared, got all my goggles sorted, and I just done the exact same as what in the B final. I just rode my absolute heart out until I could not give out all the energy that I had possible. And unfortunately I got up to about 28, I think it was. There's a couple of riders in front of me, and I come into a corner, and Zach Osborne was passing me, and a bit of his roofs come across into my goggles just as I was coming to a set of ruts, and I couldn't get them cleaned in time, and I went down. So that I dropped a few places, and then got back going again, made a couple of places back up, but it was 1 lap to go and the bike then stopped halfway around the track. So it was unfortunate, but because it was more than 70%, I still got qualified as a finish. So I finished like 35th or something like that. But and then the second race was out on a spare bike, and just same thing, just kind of riding through the laps, getting everything done as much as I could, and giving it all my all really.
Well, I mean, I think I saw it, we were all watching it here, and I think Mark Moore was saying that you're up to 26th or something, and we looked the next lap and you dropped down again. So it was a bit that yo-yo effect going on with mistakes and stuff, but just the conditions were so tough on the day, and having come to the B final, it was always going to be a big ask to get a record result for Team Ireland.
Well, by the third race come round, I'll not lie, I was definitely shattered. I was probably 15-20 minutes into the last moto, and I was like, my tongue was hanging out, and I was just like, I had to talk myself into just keep going, keep smashing the laps in, keep going around, keep riding around, because it's the same as the B final. One place can make a massive difference in our overall result, and with Martin having a DNF in the first one, so we were already kind of dropping a good result.
Yeah.
And then my results then with my stoppage cost us a few points extra as well. So I knew I just had to keep working as hard as I could. I ended up getting stuck. I jumped off the track, come back onto the track. I got stuck for about what felt like an hour, but it was probably 10 or 15 seconds. Got back out. I got the bike out of the berm and got going again. I just kept going forward. Even though I was getting lapped fairly early on in the race because I got stuck, I just kept trying holding on to the leaders and following their lines, and it then brought me up a couple more places extra. But the actual jumping off the track and getting stuck kind of killed a decent result at all.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day then Team Ireland ended up maybe 17th or 18th overall out the, was it 32 nations that went into the
18th
event?
overall. We finished. Look, the way I see it, it's not a bad result. I know we're definitely capable of top 10s, but just it's one of those weekends. It didn't go our way, but we achieved the A final. We got in on probably one of the hardest tracks in any of the nations that I've done in the 8 or 10 years I've rode the nations for now. So it's definitely achievement in my eyes.
Yeah, and fair play to Jason as well. Then he's really thrown into at the deep end for his first go at the rodeo.
Definitely.
But how do you feel about the weekend overall? Then do you think obviously maybe would prefer that the Saturday had went a little bit better, but in terms of how the team ran and everything functioned and the bikes and all that kind of stuff, did everything go okay for you?
Look, I'm a rider at the end of the day. I'm always going to find flaws in what I've done wrong. If you're a rider and you think everything went hunky-dory, you're never going to progress. So there's a lot of things that I can take out of a page in my book and to fix and to bring forward to my next races and stuff like that. But everyone else, I have to say, like Alistair, my dad, all the mechanics, they've done 100% greater job, and Jason and Martin did a great job as well, and as well as Philip organising everything to get over there and having everything there for us. It was all well ran, and the team voice and the riders was really good. So I was really happy with the overall weekend. And
a bit of Irish support in the form of leprechauns over there as well.
That's one thing I have to say. The lads in the leprechauns, they definitely would give us loads of support. It's great. They put us on the map, and they make everyone know that like the Irish
Ireland are there.
We're definitely here.
So fair play to the lads in leprechaun outfits. But so the Motocross of Nations kind of marks the end of the racing season on a world level. But what's up for you now between now and the end of the year?
Yeah, well, what I've planned, I'm trying to get my bikes back from the UK at the minute. Then there's the Dublin City Supercross next week. I've wanted to do that for years. It just everything's clashed so much and I couldn't do it.
Well, we'll be there to cover it as well on the Sunday. So
so if I get the bikes back in time, I'll definitely be doing that. And then the week after is Western Supermare.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to do that, the beach race. It's really, really big race, something I've always wanted to do for years. And I've actually got the opportunity to do this year, so I'm going to give that a go. 3 hours of absolute torture on the sand race.
Sure, so why not again? Another weekend.
That'll be my last one, and then I'll have a few weeks off and then get back into training for 2020.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think I saw on your Facebook page as well, Stuart Edmonds Racing, that you have some training dates available and stuff for riders and that.
These next few months coming up to Christmas, I'll have a lot more time during the weekend, on the weekends, just to do some one-on-one coaching with some kids. I've already got some small groups going. And then I'll hold some open group training days all over the place from Cork up to North, obviously doing and stuff, and to try get some more schools going more regularly than what has been. And that's my one kind of thing I wanted to do this winter, is try get more schools going and be a little bit more open for coaching for the kids and stuff.
Brilliant, yeah. So if you're out there watching and you'd like to learn from a Stuart here who's been on the track with the King of Sand, Jeffrey Hurlings, last weekend, and some of the top talent from the USA as well, please sure and keep an eye out on that Facebook page, Stuart Edmonds Racing. I'll maybe put a link in the comments down below and you can see when you can get in touch with Stuart and get some advice on how to go faster. Alright Stuart, thanks very much for having a chat with us here today.
Cheers.
And well done on a good weekend's race, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you very much.